You are now tuned in with your favorite dark-skinned friend with a beard. Yeah, man. Welcome back to another reaction video with your favorite dark-skinned friend with a beard. You heard him. Unity. And today, man, we are going to get into a video brought to us by @RapThreadYT. What do you call it? We've done a video by a couple of videos from them before. They got some pretty good descriptions and info, accurate info to be exact. So we're gonna go ahead and jump on that. If you have read the title, it says the feds find new evidence tying Boosie to Duke the jeweler's death. Now, this is a story that was going around probably about last year. I think it was right before what do you call it? Takeoff got shot. Duke the jeweler, he was over in the same vicinities of a show that Boosie and them was having, and afterwards they had a dice game. Somebody followed Duke the jeweler and they robbed him of his jewelry and all this other type of stuff. But everybody was trying to put it on Boosie. Anyways, it calmed down for a while. Now the feds have got involved and his name has come back up. So we're gonna watch this video and see what the heck is going on with Boosie. And hopefully he ain't got nothing to do with it. But if he do, you know how the feds get down. So y'all make sure y'all press that like button, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hit the hype star so that what you call it, YouTube know that y'all messing with your boy. Let me go ahead and check the YouTube feed real quick. Make sure that we are live and ready to go. You feel me? Let's see. Happy hump day, by the way. Shout out to the 308 subscribers, man. We are almost to our 500 mark. So y'all keep going ahead, keep sharing, keep commenting, keep pressing that like button. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I feel like I haven't been online, even though I did a stream yesterday, but I only did a stream. I usually do like 3 or 4 a day. So kind of feel like I gotta catch up today. So you're gonna see a lot of me. Anyways, yes, we are good on YouTube. And let me check the Twitch feed real quick. Like I said, hopefully y'all are all having a great day so far. I'm tired, I ain't gonna lie. Mentally, I'm tired. But, you know, we still here. All right, Twitch. Yep. And we are live on Twitch. W's in the chat. Yes, sirski. Yes, sirski. Shout out to my dog T Messings, man. Oh, let me give you your shit. Yeah. That part. So I am following my dog, man. All right, man. That go to my dog T Messings. Appreciate you tuning in on the Twitch chat. All right, man. Let me go ahead and get this thing together. That part. All right, we in there. Let's go ahead and switch it up. Won't. Make sure there ain't no sound because we don't want no echo. And let's get it, y'all. Once again, make sure y'all press that like button, comment, subscribe, share, notification bell, hype stars. Let's rock.
Boosie is in hot water with the feds. Him and J. Prince Jr. Mob ties.
When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell, my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man.
Boosie is being investigated by the feds for allegedly setting up Duke the jeweler and getting him killed after bringing him to a rigged dice game with J. Prince Jr. in Houston. But first, let me break down exactly how this whole setup went down. That's going to blow your mind. And yo, before we get into this crazy story, make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe because this content is about to get wild. No cap, this is some serious street politics that most people don't even know about. We're talking about organized crime disguised as hip-hop culture, fam. So first, let me break down who Duke the Jeweler really was, because this man was way more than just some random.
You were sexually abused while in a
All
juvenile
right.
detention facility. You may be
Let's get
entitled
past
to
this first ad.
$580,000 or more in compensation. Good?
Chicago. Duke was straight up one of the most respected jewelers in the Midwest, shorty. We're talking about a man who built his reputation from the ground up, working with everyone from local rappers to major league athletes. So Duke gets this call from Boosie about making a custom piece. Now, Duke had worked with rappers before, but Boosie was on a different level. We're talking about a Louisiana legend with serious street credibility. When Boosie calls and says he wants to do business, that's the type of call that can take your jewelry business to the next level. But here's where it gets suspicious. Boosie specifically asked Duke to come to Houston instead of handling the business in Chicago or Louisiana. He told Duke about this big Labor Day weekend event, made it sound like there would be multiple celebrities there who might want custom pieces. Boosie painted this picture of Duke making connections and getting multiple big orders. The crazy part is, Duke was excited about this trip. He posted on his social media about heading to Houston, about the potential business opportunities. This man had no idea he was driving straight into a setup that would cost him his life. And now let me expose J. Prince Jr.'s whole operation, because this is way deeper than people realize. Bro, J. Prince Jr. has been running the same scam for years, and it's so calculated it's actually scary. This dude has turned...
Yeah, it's crazy out there in Texas, man. I don't know what do you call it, be running with mob ties or whatever. I remember Drake used to bring up these cats a lot. And we was looking at Finesse two times with mob ties. We was looking at his contract the other day. You know, this fool J. Prince Jr. got 35% going to the company, 30% going to his daddy, and freaking Finesse two times only getting 35% of all his sales. You feel me? Shit's crazy.
Robbing successful people into an art form. No cap. Here's how the whole operation works from start to finish. First, J. Prince Jr. identifies targets, usually out-of-town rappers, athletes, or successful business people who are coming to Houston. He uses his connections in the industry to find out who's coming to town, how much money they have, and what kind of jewelry they're wearing. /. Then comes the approach. J. Prince Jr. doesn't just run up on people. That's amateur hour. Instead, he positions himself as...
Shout out to my 4 people on Twitch, man. Make sure y'all put your W's in the chat so I can say what's cracking.
This Houston street legend who wants to show love to visitors. He'll hit you up on social media, have mutual friends make introductions, whatever it takes to seem legitimate. Once he gets them comfortable, that's when the real game begins. He'll take them around Houston, show them the city, introduce them to other people in his circle. He makes it feel like they're being welcomed into some exclusive club. But really, he's just building trust so he can set them up later. The plan was simple. Let Duke win a little bit at first to build his confidence, then use the rigged dice to take everything he had. They wanted him to feel comfortable betting big money, then they would clean him out and send him back to Chicago. But
what's crazy is I love playing dice, man. But that is one of the most dangerous games that you could play in the hood, period. Because them cats really do be having loaded dice and all this other kind of crap. And if you try to sit there and question what's going on, you in more danger than just losing the money. That's how they look at it. It's like, what you want to do? You want to lose the money or you want to lose your life? You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to be careful who you go around doing these hood activities with, because these cats do not care. It's all about the money. F a friend.
Something went wrong with their plan, gang. According to the streets, Duke accidentally got past the real dice instead of the fake ones. Maybe someone got confused. Maybe the dice got switched by accident. But whatever happened, Duke started winning with legitimate dice. Duke won over $645,000 that night. That's actually insane. He was cleaning house.
Whoa! That shit made me press the wrong button.
To see if they may qualify for
645,000 racks, bro. Hold on.
Taking money from everyone at the table, including some very dangerous people who weren't used to losing their own money. You could see the tension building in the room as Duke kept winning. These dudes were getting heated because...
Hold on, real quick.
Their own scam was backfiring on them. They had magnetic tables and trick dice, but none of that worked when Duke was rolling with real dice.
He saw Boosie standing right next to him, too.
Man,
Boosie was standing behind Duke the whole time, and people noticed he kept whistling. At first, everyone thought he was just being playful, but now people realized those whistles were actually signals. He was communicating with the other people in the room, probably trying to coordinate how they were going to handle the situation. The crazy part is, Duke was being a good sport about everything. Even when he was winning all this money, he wasn't being disrespectful or rubbing it in anyone's face, but winning their money was the worst thing that could have happened to Duke.
$645,000 later, ain't no more playing. It ain't no more games. Niggas losing $645,000 in a casino. What they doing? They leaving, and they got to keep it pushing. You feel me? You do this. This is unregulated hood activity. You knew something was gonna happen, man.
After Duke cleaned house at the dice game, you could feel the energy in the room change completely. These dudes went from being friendly and welcoming to cold and calculating real quick. They weren't about to let some out-of-town jeweler walk away with over $500,000 of their money. No cap. According to witness statements and what people are saying on the streets, there was a whole meeting after the dice game ended. Boosie, J. Prince Jr., and their crew got together to plan how they were going to get their money back. This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment decision. This was a calculated murder plot. They knew Duke was going to Boosie's concert the next night, so they had time to plan everything out. They studied his movements, figured out where he was staying, and planned the perfect ambush. These dudes turned murder into a business operation. They had multiple people following Duke throughout the day. When they approached Duke in that parking lot, this man wasn't going out without a fight. Duke tried to defend himself, but he was outnumbered and outgunned. The shooters came prepared for war, while Duke was just trying to get to his car and go back to his hotel. The shooting was quick and brutal. They shot Duke multiple times, took all the money he had won at the dice game, plus his jewelry, and then disappeared into the night. And this is where Boosie's Oscar-worthy performance begins. So right after Duke gets murdered, Boosie goes into full acting mode. This dude makes not one, but multiple videos trying to distance himself from what happened. He's on camera talking about how sad he is, how Duke was a good dude, and how this type of violence isn't his stilo.
Some dudes tried to rob him.
They didn't try to rob him. They robbed him.
Implant Center. This has been an amazing experience. Something I should have done a long time ago.
You see, and this is where it comes down to. It's like, is the money worth your life? You know what I'm saying? Do you just give it up in that situation, or do you try to do what Duke did and try to defend yourself? He was outgunned, though. He like I said, he tried to defend himself. He got a couple shots off, but it wasn't enough for all the artillery that came his way. They got him for his jewelry and 600 bands. Whew.
See some dudes that tried to rob me and walked off by himself, bro.
Boosie also tried to make it seem like Duke lost money at the dice game when everyone knows Duke won big that night. He said Duke wasn't upset about losing, but how can you be upset about losing when you actually won over $600,000? The lies don't even make sense. What if I told you that Boosie's story about what happened after the concert keeps changing? That's actually suspicious as hell. First he said Duke left by himself, then he said Duke was with other people, then he changed the story again. When you're telling the truth, your story doesn't keep changing. The most disgusting part of Boosie's performance was how he tried to use Duke's death to make himself look like a victim. He talked about how the internet was trying to blame him, how people were being unfair to him, how this was affecting his mental health. Bro, a man is dead and you're worried about your reputation?
Internet, y'all got us all the way up, man. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We get fucking money. That ain't our stilo. As a boss, I ain't letting that go down like that, man. This dude finna make me a piece.
What y'all thinking, man? Y'all think Boosie had something to do with him getting set up? What do you call it? He did have him out down there to go make him a piece, but at the end of the day, he was still he knew J. Prince Jr. and them way longer than he knew Duke the Jeweler. You heard him. He's like, he just met him the night before when they was gambling. So who you really think Boosie loyalty lie with? Jay Prince Jr. and them, or this new jeweler that was about to make him a piece? I don't know. Y'all put it in the comments. Let me know.
So y'all need to kill that's bad low, man. Don't put us in nothing with no bad low. It's bad low, man.
Sympathy in these videos was so obvious it actually made people more suspicious. Real grief doesn't look like a performance, and Boosie was clearly performing for the cameras. He was trying too hard to seem innocent, and that made him look guilty as hell. Fans found video evidence of Boosie's nephew leaving the building right before Duke got shot. That's actually insane. They went through security footage, social media posts, and witness accounts to create a timeline that showed exactly how the murder went down. The internet detectives also discovered that Duke's Louis Vuitton bag with his jewelry was found at Boosie's house.
Ooh.
Like, how do you explain that away? Boosie claimed Duke asked him to hold.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on, Boosie. You telling me that, what do you call it? They found this fool whole Louis bag full of his jewelry at your house. Yet y'all didn't have nothing to do with the rock. Yes, Duke could have told him to let him sit, let him have it chill right there at that, but that even make the link even easier. Because now you ain't got to go find the money. The money is already in your house. Oh, Boosie, come on, bro.
During the dice game, but after Duke got murdered, why didn't that bag go back to his family? Why was it just sitting at Boosie's crib like it belonged there? Social media users also started connecting this case to other suspicious incidents involving Jay Prince Jr. and his crew. They found patterns of out-of-town artists getting robbed or killed after attending dice games in Houston. This wasn't Duke's first time.
Former juvie center inmates. If you were sexually abused by a staff member, you may qualify for financial compensation.
It ain't
Over
worth
$4
it,
billion
man.
has already been paid to survivors of sex.
It was part of a bigger operation, but this is where Boosie showed his true colors. So after the internet basically solved the whole case and exposed all the evidence, Boosie's whole demeanor changed completely. Instead of continuing to play the grieving friend, this dude got mad that people figured out what really happened. And yo, that reaction told us everything we needed to know about his guilt. Boosie started making angry videos calling people internet detectives and keyboard warriors. He was heated that fans were connecting the dots and exposing the truth. But bro, if you're really innocent, why are you mad at people for trying to find justice for Duke? That's actually crazy behavior right there. An innocent person would want people to investigate and find the real killers. An innocent person would be grateful that people cared enough about Duke to seek the truth. But Boosie was more concerned about protecting himself than getting justice for Duke. Boosie also started trying to discredit the evidence that fans had found. He would make videos trying to explain away the phone records, the fingerprints, the witness statements, but his explanations never made sense. When you have to work that hard to explain away evidence, it usually means you're guilty. The fact that Boosie spent more time attacking people who were seeking justice than he did mourning Duke's death showed everyone what his real priorities were. He cared more about his reputation than he did about a man who lost his life. And yo, even Boosie's own family started turning against him. Here's where the story gets even crazier. Boosie's own brother TQ came forward saying he has receipts that prove Duke got set up. When your own blood is calling you out for murder, you know the situation is bad. No cap. TQ and Boosie have been beefing for years over money and business deals. According to court documents, TQ allegedly stole over $360,000 from Boosie's bank account and helped one of Boosie's artists sign with another label behind his back.
Well, damn. That's a lot of scratches to forgive somebody for, man. 360? Ooh, wait.
But the Duke situation made TQ speak up in a way he never had before. He started hinting on social media that he knew the real story about what happened to Duke, and that Boosie wasn't as innocent as he was pretending to be. TQ said he had evidence that could expose the whole setup.
You think niggas wake up and just choose Boosie to steal from? You don't think there's better people to steal from?
Telling you.
Like, it's not fucking happening. Boosie is not a victim, dog. Like, that nigga ain't no... Boosie is a fucking villain.
Here's where this story gets absolutely wild. Some people think the Duke situation is connected to what happened to Takeoff from Migos. Both situations involve dice games in Houston. Both involve Jay Prince Jr.'s circle, and both ended with success.
I told you this happened right before Takeoff. It either happened right before Takeoff got shot or right afterwards. And like you said, both of them they both was involved in that dice game. You feel me? My advice is if you go to Houston, don't go play no dice games with none of these niggas because you might end up dead. Period.
Successful young men losing their lives over money and jewelry. The pattern is too similar to ignore, fam. Young successful artists come to Houston, get invited to these exclusive dice games, something goes wrong with money or respect, and they end up dead. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern of predatory behavior. What if I told you that there might be other victims we don't even know about? That's actually insane when you think about it. How many other successful people have been lured to Houston and never made it home? How many other families are grieving because of these dice game setups? Charleston White has been calling this out for years, warning people about the dangerous environment that Jay Prince Jr. and his crew create in Houston. He's been saying that the check-in culture is really just a way to identify and target successful people who come to the city. The takeoff situation happened at a dice game where money and respect were on the line. Sound familiar? The Duke situation happened after a dice game where he won money from dangerous people. The parallels are undeniable. Both cases also involve the same circle of people. Jay Prince Jr., his crew, and various Houston street figures who profit from these gambling operations. It's like they have a...
Once again, man, if y'all like the video so far, make sure y'all press that like button. If you're on Twitch, make sure you put your W's in the chat so I know who you are. Yeah, man, let's keep it popping.
System for luring successful people into dangerous situations. The federal investigation into Duke's murder might uncover evidence that connects to Takeoff's case and other crimes in Houston. When you start pulling on one thread, sometimes the whole criminal network unravels. And yo, here's where things stand right now and why this matters for the whole industry. As of right now, the federal investigation is still ongoing, but sources close to the case say that indictments could be coming soon. The evidence against Boosie and his crew is overwhelming, and federal prosecutors are known for only bringing cases they're confident they can win. Boosie is still trying to maintain his innocence, but his legal team is reportedly preparing for the worst. When you have federal investigators building a case against you, that's not something you can just wrap your way out.
I'm trying to tell you, once the feds get involved, you are pretty much out of there. You know what I mean? Because they're not coming after you unless they got some kind of proof, period. So Boosie better, cover his P's and Q's right now. His lawyers better get on it.
Out of no cap, the streets are watching this case closely because it could expose a whole network of organized crime that's been operating in the hip-hop industry for years. If Boosie goes down for this, it might encourage other victims to come forward and expose similar operations in other cities. What if I told you that this case could change how the entire industry handles security and business relationships? That's actually insane when you think about the ripple effects this could have. Artists might start being more careful about who they trust and where they go to conduct business. The Duke case has also highlighted the dangers of the...
California. Want a free iPhone 11? Yes, free for eligible Californians. On CalFresh, Medi-Cal, SSI, App YC. You likely...
culture that exists in certain cities. Artists are starting to question whether checking in with local street figures is really about respect and protection, or if it's just a way for criminals to identify and target successful people. Record labels and management companies are reportedly reviewing their security protocols and advising their artists to be more cautious when traveling to certain cities. The days of blindly trusting street legends might be coming to an end. This case could also lead to more federal investigations into similar operations in other cities. If the feds can prove that there's an organized network of criminals targeting successful people in the hip-hop industry, that could lead to a nationwide crackdown. The impact on Houston's hip-hop scene could be massive too. If Jay Prince Jr. and his crew get taken down, that could change the entire power structure in the city. Other artists and entrepreneurs might finally feel safe to operate without having to pay tribute to street figures. And that's the full breakdown of how Boosie allegedly set up Duke the Jeweler and got him killed. This whole situation is absolutely wild, and the evidence is overwhelming. From the rigged dice game to the fake sympathy videos to the federal investigation, everything points to this being a calculated setup from the inside. But this story is bigger than just one murder, fam. This is about a system of organized crime that's been preying on successful people in the hip-hop industry for years. Duke the Jeweler was just one victim in a larger pattern of violence and exploitation that needs to be exposed and stopped. The fact that Boosie's own family members are turning against him shows just how serious this situation is. When your own blood can't defend your actions, you know you've crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. The federal investigation is still ongoing, but all signs point to major indictments coming soon. The evidence is too strong. The witnesses are cooperating, and the pattern of criminal behavior is too clear for prosecutors to ignore. But yo, if you
see how many yellow tags was sitting down there, they lit Duke the Jeweler up, boy. And the thing about this is too, it's like it's just scandalous. This is a scandalous game, man. I'm thinking about like how they supposed to be getting the money for the jewelry that was all in that bag. They can go pawn that off somewhere. Keep it pushing. He can't even come back. Like, there's nobody to come be like, oh yeah, that's my jewelry. They stole it. You know what I mean? Because they done killed this man. Crazy. Anyways, man, y'all put it down in the comments what y'all think. Y'all think Boosie has something to do with the unaliving of Duke the Jeweler, or was it just an unfortunate situation? And you know, people just got to be more careful. And they surround us. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, if I'm making that type of money, I'm not outside with these cats. I don't care. I don't care. At the end, and this is why people be like, well, why is there always black on black crime and blah, 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 blah. Why black people always so, you know, violent towards each other and da da da. Because niggas is jealous. It's straight jealousy. It's like, it's crazy how, like, what do you call it? You don't hear nothing about no like no white rappers getting killed like that or getting, you know what I'm saying? But why is that? Because they don't put themselves in these situations. They make their money and they stay in their hills. They stay in their nice house in the hills. Yeah. You know what it is. Anyways, like I said, y'all make sure y'all press that like button, comment, subscribe, share. If you want to support the channel, man, make sure y'all go over to the website, man, www.alldayeverydayllc.net. You see that big cloud graphic behind my head? You got a whole collection over here on the site. We got stuff for the babies all the way down to the onesies. You know what I mean? They go to cloud, and then on the back, ADED, baby, all day, every day, because we are repping this all day, every day. You know what I mean? Like I said, we got purses, long sleeves, T-shirts for the kiddos. Everything on here is very affordable. I got discount codes available as well, too. So if you put discount in the chat, I'll get back to you. You can get about 20% off on your first purchase, you know, join the ADED family. But yeah, man, it's about 80 pieces on here. I created each and every single one of these. This baseball jersey is hard as hell. And everything that like, if you see it, if it look like this on the site, it's going to look like that when they show up to your front door. Great quality. All the colors pop. I got this jersey. This thing hard. On the back, you feel me? Yeah. So, you know, we got baseball jerseys, basketball jerseys, hoodies, all types of stuff. So, once again, all day, every day, LLC.net. Yeah, feels me? Yeah, feels me. All righty.
You're now tuned in